here from Lil Nick. Want to see him be able to get that farm up, get some stacks going to clear out with your mag or your TA. We'll see if that's something we get here. Smoke out, nothing breaking despite the ward draw. So both sides get the sneaker wards away.
Yeah. That they will, at least for now. But last game around, I believe Esk lost his mid ward pretty early on. Not sure how to feel about these role changes here between the TA Void Spirit. Like I'd much rather see POS 1 TA over POS 1 Void Spirit, quite frankly. But I think after that last game, like I said, I don't think Boris will want to play TA again, because you're not going to find the same timings as you did last game, and it must be a pretty annoying feeling losing a game like that so easily to Ravens. But that's exactly how it went down. It felt like the farm was just non-existent for Boris that last game, even though it really was there. Bounty runes to come up. Looks like it's going to be a pretty even start of 2-2. No real kind of contest here between these two teams over the bounties. Can start with the mid lane as per usual, and you're going to have RRL, who did a fantastic game on the Ember last game. It's going to be on the Wind Ranger against Esk on the position 2 TA. I wonder how this lane goes for Esk, because last game around against the Ember, he did not have the greatest time. Ended up losing the lane pretty hard in terms of the CS war. On the TA versus Wind Ranger, I don't want to say it's going to be a harder matchup, but I don't think it's going to be that simple either.
It's not a simple lane. Like, you can't really force out with Sideblades. Wind Run's always going to feel good. Although I suppose, okay, never mind. Sideblades does pierce through the evasion, so RL's not going to have as fun of a time as he'd want to here. Once you do have the value point and refraction, RL has no easy way of clearing that out either. So this should be a pretty stable lane for a TA, unless he gets shackled and focused down close to that level 6 mark. But beyond that, if you can land your Sideblades, this is a pretty annoying lane for RL, though he is still doing a good job of getting some early harassment off. That is something Esk will have to watch out for. Should be a lot more back and forth. I think Esk should be able to manage this one maybe a little bit better as the levels go up.
What about the side lanes, John? I mean, top lane, you're going to have Argus there with Kara against Lil Nick and Giant. Giant already taking so much damage here from Kara. Kara ends up going for the Glaives of Wisdom build up here with the skill build. So it looks like it's paying off right now. This safe lane for Ravens, it does feel like it should be pretty safe. Like, sure, you might not be able to slow down Lil Nick very much in the position 3 Magnus either. But I think Argus is obviously much more concerned about his own priority in terms of farm. Kind of sad we don't get to see what kind of itemization Argus wants yet, because he hasn't queued anything up, but I'm sure we'll find out very soon. Thing is as well, like with this offlane for Lil Nick, the skill backs aren't really going to amount to too much, because Argus can literally just turn around and man up with Curse of Avernus and, of course, the Aphotic Shield. And chances are he will win that harass war.
Doesn't really care too much. You come in too close as a melee here, you get punished. Giant's constantly zoned out by Kara, already having to pop the Salvin lane. Kara is starting to run out of mana at the very least, so not going to be able to keep that harassment up for too long. But you're doing a great job of just giving Argus that strong start here. He is finding farm. Down bot, the last lane we haven't really looked at. It's Pingus on the Veno, along with Boris on the safe lane. Void Spirit up against Italiano Gangstars, Timbersaw, and Wake Me Up on the Spirit Breaker. Not a good lane for Italiano so far. Again, this is a lane that's a little bit challenging for the Tim. Will take levels to really start to feel better there. Has to go for the chains as well.
Yeah, charges out. Pingus in a bit of danger. As Italian Gangster still going to find the kill. No whirling death necessary. He'll chain away, barely avoiding the Aether Remnant. Gets a CS while he's at it, and he is fine. Boris could not secure the kill. Not at level 2, he can't. And this is kind of what I was saying, John. Like, this guy on the Timber, early levels, he might care about the Veno, but even then, it's not really that bad.
Yeah, he drops low, but right through the hard part of that lane. Has level 2 reactive armor up, so it's going to be a lot harder to zone out Italiano with a Ring of Health. And you have to hammer in those Gales every single time. You see Pingus miss there. Every time you don't land that, well, Timbersaw is free to just do what he wants. Again, core-to-core matchup, very favorable for the Timbersaw here.
Yeah, nice chance through here from Wake Me Up. Pingus trying his absolute best here to just zone them away. Aether Remnant's going to land. Boris, I don't know how long he can really fight, though. So, yeah, the cooldowns on the Timber Chain just so low at the moment. only to get even worse here. Top lane. Little Nick. It's going to go down on the off-lane mag. Giant even getting dived, though Argus will finally drop. But it looks like Kara might clean up as he does get another 2 in for himself, but he's also going to die. Nice resets, though, here for the safe lane of Ravens. See, winning out that top fight pretty hard.
And that's massive, again, to start off with on the Abaddon. Argus not even opting for early stat items, will just go phase boot, so I'm wondering where he goes from there. Is it just the Echo Saber? Does he feel confident in, say, a Radiance build-up? Very open-ended for that safe lane Abaddon. The one lane going really well, though, for the side of Goons is still mid for Esk. Again, as a Wind Ranger, if you can't really use your Wind Run to dodge these shots from the side blades, it doesn't feel great. You can dodge a little bit easier as a ranged hero, but Esk hasn't been having too hard of a time in finding the advantage alone.
Oh, they finally call Argus. This time around, they get him real nice. So Argus ends up underneath the tier 1 tower without an aphotic shield and could not survive the damage that was being pumped out.
Has to respect that a little bit. And I guess that is how you find your openings here on the side of Goons. Good punishment coming out. And that's all while Giant is kind of going around trying to get some stacks up for the recovery. So equalizes a little bit. And the lanes, again, they are looking still a little bit sharper for the side of the Goons. Despite Ravens finding these kills, you are still finding your build-up on Boris. You're recovering nicely on Little Nick. And you're kind of dominating the lane here for Esk. Much stronger start across every side, every lane for the American Goons, and that was lacking in the last game. The only good lane was Boris. Everything else was just even or less favorable.
Charge into the mid lane. Actually cancelled here by Wake. Maybe a bit of a misclick. Wouldn't have really mattered anyway. Just goes right next to Esk and just decides to stop. He's around to try and secure 6-minute power runes at the moment, as Pingus will show up as well. Wake me up. Not going to find a power rune. Instead, it is going to be up top. But Giant is securing a regen rune here for Esk. So Esk is going to be able to get away with this for free. Like RRL was a little bit too busy with the creep wave behind his tier 1 tower at the time to try and contest that. Meanwhile, charge out on Giant now. Kara just casually just waiting, hoping the Rubik stays around. And Giant is actually going for the fight because he wants this Observer Ward down, or does get it. Giant, he gets stunned up here by Wake Me Up, and he got the ward at least, but he is going to die. Kara having a great time taking just in from everybody this game.
Already up to 6 in the laning silencer, feeling pretty damn good. Managed to scout out the stacks as well. They have a pretty good time finding that. Solo lane now for Argus, not the worst thing in the world with the phase boots up. As long as he's conservative with the aphotic shield use, shouldn't be too bad. He is rushing the Radiance here, Mike. So a pretty nice item build-up coming out. You will steal 1 Wisdom Rune on Pingus. So you do find yourself a nice one. And Wake Me Up did take the other one. So it's still an even trade despite that steal, which is good news for the side of Ravens. You lose both, you don't feel great. Gangstar does hit 6 faster now, so it's a bit of a threat for Boris.
That it is. 3-5 right now. Very slight net worth lead the way of American Goons. Esk is having a very good game on the TA thus far as well. 55 and 11 in terms of CS, but there's your focus fire being thrown out. Shackle is not going to latch onto anything. There is a charging coming from Wake Me Up, but he will cancel, of course. So TA was more than safe behind the tier 1 tower. So interesting attempt, but with the trap that was there to slow down RRL, there was just no chance of that kill happening. They do at least zone him out for the 6-minute power rune timing, but again RRL was going to get very unlucky. Wake Me Up forced to take the arcane rune for himself before it was denied off by Giant. They seem to know Giant's around on the Rubik, though Giant knows he's there too. Pingus is going to show up on the Venomancer. The SB should be just fine, though they are bringing even more heroes in here towards the triangle. Boris now going to show up. Kara looking to get caught out. Wake Me Up does at least go for a charge on Pingus, finding one on the Venomancer, as now they're going to try and jump the SB instead. And Wake Me Up, he is going to die for this. It's not the worst situation here for the American Goons. It's a 1-for-1 trade in the end. Both sides, they'll just retreat. No need to keep the fight going.
Rather interesting. We see Boris here already. Probably just wants to abandon the lane versus Timbersaw. This is not a sustainable lane, so he has to go elsewhere. Up top, though.
Charge out onto the mag now. Silence was there on Lornik, but he already skewered. He does have the RP available, and he may be forced to use it because Curse of Avernus is coming in from Argus. He is still a tanky boy with the Vanguard trying to survive through all this, but the bash is coming out. Not allowing it. Wake Me Up just getting very lucky with the bash. 2 in a row. And Lil Nick just never had a chance.
That's pure skill, Mikey. Wake Me Up getting blessed now after a rough last game. Yeah. So he gets the double bash, he gets the control. Would have been an opportunity for the RP, as you mentioned there. Right by the tier 1. Could have been the turnaround play, but not happening. With alt skill here, Giant might get skilled up here too.
He may. Slow is there from the Curse. Both Curses, in fact, as Argus. Going to be skewered back here, but Giant is still being chased down. Unless Argus decides better of it, we'll back off, even with the borrowed time available. It's not worth diving for a Rubik kill. Needs to get back to farm anyway, because the TA is starting to snowball a little bit here in terms of farm. So charges out again. Speaking of the TA, S going to be chased. Does get stunned up here by Wake Me Up, but RRL was not really close enough. He'll throw the shackles out, but the slow is there again from the traps. Ultimately, Raven's still having a lot of trouble trying to pick off the Templar Assassin. She is fine.
It's been going to be a consistent issue for them until this Atos is up on RRL. And that's the point where it should be a little bit easier to line up for the shackles, to line up for that kill. Maybe as well when you get Italiano starting to leave that lane down bot, you can certainly start to look for these kills. A lot of emphasis on just giving Esk space to farm. And TA is the main win condition here for the side of the American Goons. They have given him all the room he needs in the triangle. So he's starting to build up now on that TA. Desolator Rush is the name of the game. No Dragonlance, no intermediary items, just wants that minus armor up and running as fast as possible. And for the side of Ravens, I'm sure you're letting Esk farm up, but you've got a really free lane for Italiano. Literally no contestation on the Timbersaw. So his Octarine timing with this assembly is going to be pretty on point. RRL, again, not too far off from that full route of Atos. And Argus is inching towards that Radiance sooner rather than later. Once the Sacred Relic is up, it's a smooth ride into that burn damage, into that mischance, which is not something a TA wants to play up against.
Oh, big chain. Italian gangster. Going through 2 is going to find the Rubik. Giant is immediately down. The mid-tier 1 tower now going to be under siege here from Ravens. Got a very nice Timbersaw timing on Italiano. Very tanky boy at the moment. Rotations are incoming from Leonik and Boris. Kind of hard to even think about going after the Timber, but it seems like Italiano is going to back off out of respect here for the American Goons. Ravens not looking to rush anything. Yeah.
No need to take risks. There is pretty sizable RP punishment that can come out from Lil Nick. Again, you're just wanting to build up farm anyway. You want that Atos to be up first on your Wind Ranger. You want that Radiance to be up on your Abaddon. Desolator is fully up for Esk. He is going to go for the Blink next. I don't feel like this is a very smooth time to go for, say, Roshan for sure. Just with Desolator, no Dragonlance, no stats on hand to pad out that TA just a little bit more. It's not the safest. We'll want to pick off before any big objectives, and it looks like Esk is just going to play this farming game. Still up there in net worth, number 1, but you're not too far behind on any of the heroes of Ravens. Inside of the Goons, we'll smoke up with Boris and Pingus here.
Here we go. Italian gangster. I mean, he's not the easiest target. He will retreat. They won't even try to make the jump in. Big group up here down at the bot lane from the Goons, but it's not really sure what it's amounting to. Like, so they're probably just hoping to find somebody else. Not quite the case. So American Goons kind of having their time wasted here down at the bottom side of the map. I mean, you are still buying plenty of time here for Esk, who has got the Deso up now, looking into the Blink Dagger next. But I don't think Ravens are concerned about him whatsoever. Like, you're going to have the Radiance Abaddon soon. You've got Focus Fire and RRL. Seems like both those cores are more than happy to just keep farming on the side of Ravens. So a bit of a slower game, to say the least. 4 to 8, 14 minutes in, but
I'll return the favor.
I mean, both sides just trying to remain confident within their drafts. I still feel like they have a scaling issue against the side of Ravens on American Goons end. Like, if we're going to play for the later game, as Wake Me Up, we'll get jumped. Nice charge away, and the second Astral Step charge was never used. So just charges out.
And you don't find the opening. Wake Me Up perfectly fine. He's just trying to play a little bit greedier, farming into the Shadow Blade. He's not really looking to set up for the team. Radiant's now flying up for Argus. Needs to dodge out this engagement. Is under creep vision, but we'll pull it all the way back just to be a little bit safer. That is room to push up top now. Esk with a Deso will reveal that and can melt that objective fast. Argus probably doesn't mind. With a Radiance up right now, probably the Manta build, I'd say, is the next thing for Argus. More stats. Burn up on front. You do like the move speed as well, Argus.
Charge in. Wake Me Up, going to be on to Giant. Giant going to cop the charge here from Wake Me Up. Wake Me Up now needing a way out. Is going to just run towards the west as Pingus also dying. Esk going to find himself in danger. Going to get power shot, will go down. And they go for more now. Lil Nick going to skewer, but he brings the timber with him. Probably not the target you wanted. Italian the gangster, happy to oblige. Lil Nick going to go down. Boris going to try to run, but it's... I mean, he's fine. Just that 4 of his teammates are down now, and Ravens are going through the top tier 1 tower. No real contest here.
Nah, it doesn't take too long to melt this one out. Really good positioning, really great use of your spells here from the side of Ravens. The Global Silence to cut off any RP. And then the shield coming out from Argus to protect Wake Me Up in the middle of all of that. Made it really awkward for Lil Nick to look for the RP opportunity. Then again, even if you found an RP with your TA dead so early on, I don't know if you'd even find success there. Like, Esk, just a sitting duck. Or at the moment, again, without the stats to pad, without the Dragon Lance, that little bit of extra stats could help out. And probably needs a fast BKB now just to have that protection up against the output of the side of Ravens. Ravens 6k lead up. Radiant's already paying off for Argus. He is, in fact, going for the Manta. So the typical Universal Core build up here, outside of the Radiance build, of course. And the side of Ravens actually still looking to be aggressive. They know Roshan's a key timing here for a TA lineup. They want to punish it.
Top lane. Wake Me Up. Nice charge. Already Giant getting caught out. Is out looking for more now. Esk looking to retreat, but a nice Nether Strike. Gonna hold him down. Pingus gonna try to run here on the Venomancer.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So they're going to be okay, but RRL is still looking for a chase as Boris is actually somehow alive. Manages to hide in the tree line and survives another day. But that is going to be a free Roshan to go the way of Ravens now. No real contest. They are trying to stick around the pit, but no. It looks like they're just going to push out creep waves now. At least they get Argus's courier. Just deny him off that ultimate orb for a little bit. Charges out already, though, from Wake Me Up, looking for a little bit more. So they have found the Void Spirit with this. He does have one Astral Step charge, and Boris might need to use it right here and now. He will commit, but he gets to the lower ground, but not the lowest ground. And Boris is down. Not good.
What a show of force, though, from the side of Ravens. Understanding their timing so well, playing around with its lineup, with its strengths very nicely. And the side of the Goons just look a little bit lost. They're not able to find any of their team fights, Giant.
Again, not having a very good game on the Rubik is set to fall, and with the Nether Strike, it's not going to take too long. Easy peasy. It's tough, John. It is a very, very tough position.
It's all falling apart a little bit for the Goons. I mean, this lineup can scale up, but now we're talking about stalling the game for a prolonged period of time, and that is not something Ravens would be too interested in. With this kind of draft, they want to play fast. There's no way they're going to be sitting back waiting for too much farm here. Argus is probably just going to wait for his courier to be back up and finish up the Manta. A Manta Abaddon pushes insanely fast. It is so dumb that your illusions will give Curse of Avernus onto the building. So that's like 1 auto attack each plus 1 extra, and then you have bonus attack speed versus building. You just melt objectives. Abaddon is rather interesting here right now as Universal type, Mike. He's not even showing up for this push. It's just RRL up front and just farming up a little bit more.
Doesn't really feel like they need him right now, to be fair. He could probably just take a bit of a holiday here. Pretty tough, as you can see the stat comparisons right now. Boris is not having the greatest time in the world. They are charging up top here again. Giant going to be the victim. Though Wake Me Up, I'm not sure if he wants to go into 3 heroes like this, but he does have the backup of the gangster himself. And he just gets away with it. They just have no response to this.
They don't. I mean, your supports barely have stuns. You have 1 stun really left on your support duo. They just can't stop that aggression. They're forced away just by Italiano up top. 2 heroes having to run off. They lose their bot tier 2, mid tier 2 lined up for next. Full Gleipnir out for RRL. So much damage control. Even a double damage rune. He gets blessed by the frog himself. And I don't know how he stopped this on the side of the American goons. Blink timing for Lil Nick. That has to be it. Like, just blink skewer, blink RP. Something like that to set up these fights if you can find it.
Raven's still looking to apply even more pressure.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Mid lane, the mid tier 2 about to be pressured. Argus just casually taking the top tier 2 by himself. The Boris is going to jump in, but does not land the 8th Remnant. Immediate charge committed as soon as they see that, as Lil Nick now shackled up, trying to stop RRL from doing whatever the hell he wants, but RRL is just still going. Lil Nick is going to die. RRL will lose his Aegis for this, but he got a nice pick off for it. Giant, oh, Giant is down as a huge charge from Wake Me Up, landing on 3 heroes. Boris got to run. TA cannot do the same. Esk is down. Ravens are just diving them past the tier 3 towers. They'll lose another.
Middle tower is under attack.
GG is called.
They call it.
Immediate disconnect here from Giant. I mean, I don't blame them, John. The game is well and truly over. There's no coming back from this. But Ravens, my goodness. I mean, we were saying before the series started that this should be a closer matchup, but apparently